Joey, thank you so much for jumping on the AIM podcast.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for having me, dude.
Let's
So,
go. Dude, I'm so excited for this. I know we've actually tried to do this before a while back and things just get crazy, but man, I'm super, super glad to have you on the show. And I think this is gonna be a fun episode.
yeah, dude. We tried like a few times.
I know.
And then it was like, I think it was like me. I was like in training. I was just like all over the place with my schedule. And then you were probably like, screw this guy, dude.
No,
Never gonna work out.
no way, dude. No, you are a very busy guy, but you're doing so many cool things that we'll definitely get to talk about today. So I completely
Yeah,
understand, and I'm just grateful you made the time today.
absolutely, dude.
Let's go. Before we even dive in, dude, how's the new truck, man? The new truck is awesome.
My God, dude. It's awesome. Dude, I've never had a nice car. Like my pockets are tight. Like I hate spending money. I have like I have like heart palpitations if I spend money. Like I've never had money growing up, so it's just it feels weird even though that now that I'm starting to make decent money,
Right.
I still don't like spending it. So I've always driven around a piece of junk. Like the first car I had was a Chevy S10 ZR2. I bought it for like 2 grand. Then I bought a Zoo. No, then I bought another piece of crap car for like 2 grand, and then I bought an Isuzu Ascender for 3,500 bucks. And I've had that for years, dude. It was pretty good. Like it treated me good, but the AC's in and out of breaking. I live in Florida, so I'm sweating my face off driving around. And I was like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna treat myself. I told my dad, I was like, I'm gonna go buy a truck. I'm gonna go buy a truck tomorrow. He's like, no, you're not. He's like, no, you're not. I came home with it, and he was like, did you buy this thing? So yeah, dude, 2022 GMC Denali. It's sick. It is sick. The AC works. The speakers work. I'm living large.
You're a beast, dude. I saw the post and it was cool how you basically what you just said, you just kind of summarized it, but just talking about how you used to buy other types of cars and now, you're kind of changing your mindset and everything that's going on. And obviously you're having a ton of success professionally, which is amazing. Like that's just a testament to your hard work. But yeah, dude, congrats on that. That's awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it feels good to finally be able to treat myself. And I probably spent a little bit too much, but it is what it is. It is what
That's
it is.
all right. That's all good, man. I think that's, like it's all about balance and working hard and enjoying, the work that you put in. And I think that's really cool what you're doing, man. But dude,
Yeah.
I'm pumped about this. You honestly are crushing it. Obviously, I think the fitness industry is so interesting. I think you see so many different types of people, different types of training. And obviously, I don't even know how you would label yourself. Like I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you can kind of explain what you would call yourself. But within the fitness element of what you do, I do think you do it at a high level and you do it in a way where you really do help a lot of people in the way that you talk about health and wellness. And I would just love to kind of talk about how you even got into to getting in that world of fitness and health.
Yeah, thanks, man. I would say like how I got into it was through wrestling, like through sports. I think that's how most of us got into it. You with basketball, right?
Yep.
Like that teaches you those good core values at like a very young age. Like, okay, you work hard, you get results, you win games, you win wrestling matches, you whatever, you succeed. Or if you don't work hard, you get beat up or you lose the game or whatever. So from a young age, like I think I just like I like that. I like being able to push myself physically and then seeing those results. And then once that kind of, once I kind of lost that in high school sports, I started hitting the gym more and more. And then it slowly just became, just part of my daily life. And it was just a hobby. And then over time, we got our start on social media with Vine because we were like, kind of, all fit bros. But but then it just more so transitioned into like I just wanted to do more fitness content, what I do daily, and that's what's come naturally, and that I know I can post about every day because I just do it every day.
Yeah.
So it just kind of turned into that. Then I started working with 10,000, and then that more so pushed me to want to post more fitness content to, give them content to use and whatnot. And then yeah, I don't know. I just love it, dude. I just love working out. And now I would kind of like label myself as like a hybrid athlete now that I'm more of a runner. But
Let's
before
go.
before I never really, and that's so big right now. Like everyone's a hybrid athlete, right?
Yeah.
But but I do love it. Like I love that that's a trend right now. I love that people are changing the thought process of being able to lift and be like jacked and aesthetically pleasing, and then
Yeah.
also run, run fast, run far. And it's a new challenge for me. So I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just looking for new challenges. I was stuck being like just wanting to trade for, train for like aesthetics and look a certain way. And then now I'm like, I don't know. I just love the new challenge. I was kind of getting a little bit bored with my workout plans. So yeah, now I'm doing yeah, obviously, aesthetic type training, bro lifts, and then also like a marathon training program.
That is so cool. So with the first part of that, with the bro lifts, just kind of aesthetic stuff, are you programming yourself? Like what do those training days kind of look like for you?
I was, yeah, I was always just doing my own lifts and putting my workouts on the Playbook app, and I would mostly do, like a push pull leg split or an Arnold split, and kind of go back and forth between those. I wouldn't even like write my stuff down most of the time. I would just go based on feel, like, oh, today I'm feeling strong. Like let's lift pretty heavy today, or today not so much. Like I'll do more high rep stuff. But now I'm actually doing Nick Bear's hybrid build, and then I'm doing a separate marathon running program, and I've been loving that. Like waking up and knowing uh what lifts I'm doing today, like being able to just see a plan, which I haven't done it so long, because
Yeah.
I think I plan pretty well for myself. Like it has worked out for me, but I'm excited to do his plan and then maybe look for another one, and
Yeah.
then just keep doing some sort of a lifting plan with some sort of a running plan.
I love that. That's awesome. I think having a plan is crucial. With your lifestyle, especially, and this is something I actually wanted to ask you about. How do you maintain proper balance with like your habits, with your routines, with your programs, with like all the traveling you do, being a pilot and just everything else you do with social media?
Yeah, it definitely makes it tough. Like sometimes I can't get it in. Like
Yeah.
if I'm just flying all day or traveling all day, I usually can. Like, I mean, you can always find 30 minutes or something, in my hotel room. I can always knock out some push-up squats, some sort of ab work or something if I want to get like a quick 30-minute workout. But if I can't get it in, I'll just use that as my rest day. And then if I can get it in, I'll always get it in, you know? So I think, I don't know. I always seem to find time for it. It definitely makes it a little bit more tough, especially like finding a gym. Sometimes I have to get like super creative with the hotel gyms, but most of the time, dude, we just it's like part of your day,
Yeah.
so you're just gonna do it.
Just
It's
figure
just
it
like
out.
keep taking a shower. Like I wake up every day and I know I'm gonna go on a run or I'm gonna go on a lift, because it's just part of the day.
No doubt. I love that. Yeah, that's something that I've certainly had to adjust to in the season of life, just traveling a little bit more than I have been previously. And it's like
Yeah,
sometimes you just have to, you have to be easy on yourself. Obviously, don't make excuses, but don't be so fixated of like I have to work out from 7 to 9 a.m. Like sometimes you might have to do it at night, or sometimes you might have to sneak it in
exactly.
after a meeting in the afternoon, and you just have to get it in when you can, like you said. So I think that's super helpful for people to hear, especially going into the holiday seasons when people are traditionally traveling more. And sometimes, I don't know, some people are more OCD about it than others, but like some people that are like super habit oriented, like it really messes with them when they're not able to do things exactly how they envision them mentally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I would love to be able to just wake up, lift in the morning, and then run later in the day,
Yeah.
or run in the morning and lift later in the day. But yeah, you do have to make those adjustments when you're traveling. Just kind of, all right, this is when I can get it in. I'm just going to squeeze it in here, and then finish up the rest of the stuff I have to do.
I love that. I'm curious, what kind of drew you into adding this hybrid element to your training? Obviously, you crush it in the gym, you're jacked, you got the great physique, but what was it about the running element that wanted to bring you into that side and interested you?
I'd say like the new challenge and just other people. I definitely take motivation from others and just seeing, what other people have done. And I went to Colorado when I was when I was in training recently, and just meeting certain people. Hanging out with like Eric Hinman, talking to him. Like he went through his, Ironman, stint,
Yeah,
and like that sort of training, and then just talking to like Brock Covington and a few other people doing like ultra marathons. They just motivated me. I'm like, dude, I need to do something different. I need to push myself in a different way. So yeah, I just kind of decided. I mean, I did the half marathon in New York like 6 months ago or so,
I
and
remember that.
after that, I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna do, and I kept telling myself like I need to do a full at some point, but I just never like picked one out or decided when I was gonna do it. So when I was in Colorado, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a marathon. I'm gonna find one. I'm gonna sign up, and I'm just gonna get it done. And now I'm freaking signed up for two of them, and I'm gonna sign up for three of them this year.
No
So
way.
yeah, so I think that's it though. I think I'm just gonna do three this year, and then I don't know, find a new goal after that.
I love that. Which ones are you signed up for right now? Is it public or can you talk about that or not yet?
Yeah, no. So it's just a local one in my hometown
Okay.
Called the Publix Marathon. So that'll be February 12th, and then I'm doing one, and then my other buddy who just did an Ironman, who I don't even know if he's ran a marathon yet, but he just sent it. He just said he's a savage, and he's been training for a year, and he did an Ironman, the one in Arizona, and he just signed up for a marathon in San Diego, and he's like, dude, you should do it with me, and I was like, all right. He just caught me in that moment of like, all right, yeah, I'm down. So then I just signed up for that one, and then I want to do the New York City Marathon at the end of the year, and then that'll be like the one that I really want to try for sub 3. That would be sweet as long as I'm feeling good and healthy. I
Yeah.
think I'll learn a lot from the first one, of course, and then try to dial it in on the second one a little bit better, and then hopefully on the third one I'll be ready to rock.
That's so cool, dude. I love it. And I love what you're doing with your content too, how you've started to incorporate just like starting to share the little things you're learning along the way from going from pretty much just strictly in the gym to now adding running in and becoming quicker and faster and fitter. And like, I just think it's super cool the way you're doing it.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, because I feel like I know nothing, you know, and
Dude,
like you start to learn a little bit here and there. I've kind of always just done my own thing and just kind of done what works best for me. But I'm not super knowledgeable like a lot of these other guys you may talk to, like to are just like super knowledgeable about nutrition or training plans, and they're like certified trainers. I'm just kind of like a dude who likes to lift, you know. I've just been learning a lot, especially how early on I am in running.
yeah. Yeah. I would love to hear more of your perspective about just like some things that maybe outside of the fitness advantages or benefits you get from the style of training that you've seen in your life. For example, I'll give you an example. One thing that I've seen personally with running, like these easy runs that I'll go on, I'll become like the most creative during those moments. It's like I don't get me wrong, and this is why I do enjoy kind of the hypersolic training. I love getting in the gym, I love getting a pump, I love pushing heavy weight, but there's something about just an easy run where my heart rate's low and I'm just, detached from everything else, not on meetings. I'm thinking so creatively, and it's been super, super helpful in my business and the podcast and everything I'm working on to have those moments that really are just like benefits I'm receiving outside of just the fitness element. So I'm curious to see if you have any learnings or takeaways that you've kind of experienced as well.
Yeah. I need to stop running with music so I can think a little more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I that is also something I really like about it is that with running, you can't like you have to be in the moment, you
Yeah.
know. Like, you can't be on your phone in between each set or whatever. Like you're zoned in, and some of these runs are an hour long or over an hour long, and you kind of have to just be in your own head and just be in the moment, thinking about whatever you want to think about. But yeah, that's probably what I like about it most. But it is great for the mental. Like it's such a different mental push than the gym because you can stop at any point. Like in the gym, you do a set, it's maybe a minute long. You know, you go on some of these runs. Even a 3 mile run can be really hard if you
Yep.
put yourself, really hard. And then these longer runs are starting to get pretty hard. But yeah, you just keep going. You just kind of decide like I'm not going to stop, and you just keep moving. But yeah, what is your plan right now? Like, what are you doing in the gym and run wise? Because I always see you putting in some crazy miles too, bro.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's funny. We're gonna make an official announcement on Sunday. This podcast will go up next week, so this will be before. But next Saturday, a week from today, I'm doing Hyrox LA with
Let's go.
with my business partner Lucas Joyner. He's become a really good friend of mine. We've done business together, and we're gonna do doubles division and go crush a Hyrox in LA, and then yeah, I think there'll be some more marathons in 23, but that's the immediate focus is making sure we're prepped and ready for that. But that whole challenge, that whole race is half of it's running. I mean, you run 5 miles throughout of it. So it's definitely very runner focused in addition to having, an adequate amount of strength.
I've been thinking about wanting to do one of those. Like me, like I met this kid Tyler Morey at
Yeah.
the HPLT event, Brian Maz's event, and me and him were partners in the Murph, and we did like a partner Murph. And after that, we were like, and we keep seeing, dude, Hyrox is blowing up. Like all these
Yeah.
guys are doing it. It seems like an awesome event. It's that perfect hybrid event of strength and speed with the running and just an hour of just being a machine, you know?
Yeah. No.
So me and him were like, dude, we should do a partner Hyrox eventually. And I think there's one somewhere like a month or so after my first marathon. So we were thinking about maybe doing that. When is the one in LA?
It's December 10th.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, you would crush it. Honestly, I think you're with your fitness, and then obviously you start to add in more running volume. Like, dude, I think that would be a really good race for you to do. I think you would kill that.
I'm curious to see how I would do my quad. It seems very very quad dominant as like Eric Hinman is talking about, and my quads are not that strong, dude. My legs are just not that strong. Like I need to do a lot more like the sled pulling or pulling and pushing,
Yeah,
the wall balls with all the squats, like
lunges.
lunges. Yeah, the it's very very quad dominant. And we even doing during Murph, like when we got to all the squats,
Squats, yeah.
I was carrying me. I was carrying him on the pull ups,
Yep.
and then we both crushed the push ups together. And then when we got to the squats, I was dying. I was doing like 10. He started doing 30. I was like, dude, I was like, I need to work on my quad. It was cool to see like my weakness, but
Yeah.
that's what I would be curious to see with Hyrox because yeah, that's a
Sure.
weakness for sure.
Yeah, the transition from going to some sort of quad dominant movement into right into a run and then back into some sort of quad dominant movement, that's been the trippiest part about training is like trying to practice that transition of like tiring on my legs, going, jump squats, whatever, wall balls, and then straight into the run. And your legs are like so heavy. But that's something I think over time your body starts to slowly adapt to. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
been the most challenging part of the training for sure.
yeah, being fast under fatigue is
Yeah,
not easy.
no
It's not
doubt.
easy. Yeah. So, but that's a sweet new challenge. Like I'd love to do that after this marathon. Like I wanna do that. So are you doing like specific training for the Hyrox? Because I mean like the event's the same every time, right? It's the same movements.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the same exact event every single time. It's 1,000 meters of running broken up with 8 workout stations: sled pull, sled push, farmers carries, sandbag lunges, burpee broad jump. That one's going to be my toughest one. That's my weakest link. But thankfully, my partner Lucas is a burpee savage, so we should be good there. And then ski, row, and then you finish with wall balls. And I didn't have the order exactly correct, but those are the movements. And then, yeah, between each workout station, you run 1,000 meters. And typically they're in these like convention centers. So the energy and the atmosphere is apparently like what's the coolest part about it is just everyone in there just going hard and just sending it, dude. It's like a full send workout for an hour. So it'll be cool. It'll be a good experience. And, Lucas and I have talked about it. We just want to try like a bunch of different things. So like Hyrox will be sick. And then I think doing
Yeah,
another marathon, maybe an ultra, I don't know, like just no boundaries, no limits, just like finding new goals, new challenges, and trying to figure out how to get them done.
that's awesome, dude. So how is it split up? Like you do one lift or one workout slash run, and then he does one workout and run. How does that work with the partner?
Yeah, with the partner, so you guys have to run together within a certain distance. So you have to be pretty close together. So all the runs you're doing together, so you have to be similar paces. And when you get to the workout station, you guys can break it up however you want. It just you have to complete the amount of reps or the distance, whatever that is. But you guys can go half and half. You can go quarter, 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 quarter. You can go like 70, 30%, like whatever you want to do, you can break it up. And that's where the strategy comes in of like who's better at what particular workout, and then that's where you can get like pretty fun with it.
Dang, that is cool. Yeah, because that adds like a whole different level of strategy
Yeah,
to the workout.
exactly. So it'll be a good challenge. We're excited about it, man. But no, I'm pumped for you, dude, to getting into running, and we're gonna link up and get a run next weekend, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or
Yeah,
the weekend after the High Rocks, yeah.
That'll be a long one. What, or at least in my plan. Let's see real quick what that's gonna be. I'm doing a half tomorrow.
Okay.
That's the plan. But I just kind of picked some like a really random like novice marathon training program. Like what did you use when you were training for yours?
Yeah.
And
So when I ran my first marathon, I was using Nick Bear's training program.
oh really?
Yeah, so in his app, he actually has a 16-week training program. So I used pretty much his program. I was lifting still, doing strength work throughout the week, but I was using his program to train for the marathon. And then I ended up running a half marathon to raise some money for charity and earlier this year. And I worked actually with Ryan Hall on that one. So Ryan coached me. And so that was awesome. That was really fun to work with him more like closely. Obviously with Nick's program, it was just like I wasn't working with Nick directly. I was working with his program. But with Ryan, it was more custom, and he was really helping me kind of learn so much in just a few short months of prepping for that half, which was really fun.
Yeah, yeah. Give me like the top three things you learned from Ryan Hall because he's obviously a savage. He's on the 10,000 team, but I've never talked to him directly. Maybe a
Yeah.
little through like IG. Um, but obviously, he's like the American record holder for the half. Now I mean, he was like a stick bug and super fast, and now he's
Yeah.
jacked
It's
and
nuts.
so fast.
Yeah.
So
I think, yeah, some of the cool things I learned from him, one of the most interesting things was how to incorporate leg strength training with the volume of running. And that was something the first time through with the marathon training. I didn't have a coach. Honestly, I just had come off playing college basketball. I didn't really know how to handle that balance. And so I was doing like full range of motion, lifting heavy with probably a little bit too much volume. But Ryan really talked about you definitely still want to lift heavy, but he recommends for certain movements that you don't do full range of motion. For example,
really,
he only does half squats. He likes to deadlift pulling above the knee, so not from the ground, because those are kind of, excuse me, those are the types of positions that your body's going to be in when you're running. When you're running, you're never going to be in a full squat position. You're only going to be, with your legs slightly bent and then pressing up. So having that power to get from that point to, a full extension in your leg.
yeah.
And so those like nuances and like understanding that were really interesting from like a strength training side. But then the nutrition was huge. And I think that was one of the big places that I missed where I could have definitely improved my first time around running the full marathon was just I wasn't eating enough. I was trying to lift too much in the gym, which you definitely can do both, but you have to really focus in on nutrition, make sure you have enough calories to be able to run fast and keep your body healthy. So yeah, those two things were interesting. And then the cliche thing that everyone always says, but it's true, is he was really emphasizing on like on those easy days that are programmed, make sure you go easy. Like don't push the pace, even if you feel good, like let your body recover and let your aerobic base just keep building. And it's so hard because I'm like in my mind, I'm like, I don't want
I
to
have
run.
a hard time with
It's
that.
so hard.
I have a hard time. I'm like, oh, I feel great. I feel
Yeah.
great. Like, yeah,
You want
yeah.
to push it, right?
I'm like, I was gonna go easy, and I'm like, no. We'll go easy for a half a mile, then we'll go super hard for a half a mile, then we'll go easy for a mile.
Yeah.
But like on your easy days, are you easy every single mile, or does he still have you push on the last mile or every third mile, or are you just like on those easy long runs? Are you just in your zone two the
No.
entire time?
Yeah, on easy days it's easy. Like there's nothing about it except for just going zone two, keeping your heart rate low. We did talk about the MAF 180 formula, which I think you're familiar with as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
180 minus your age.
yep,
So,
yep. And
how
going,
old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh, damn, you're young, bro.
So my range is a little bit higher, but I still try to keep it low and like in the high 140s, low 150s max. Like I try not to go even to the top range of my range or whatever.
Yeah, I need to do that because I just got this watch, so I just started being able to track
Shoot.
my heart rate. And yeah, I've been trying to do like yesterday I was sitting around like 155. Like when I was feeling like good and it like felt like I was in my zone too. But then I was doing like every other mile, I would get up to like 170. Sometimes I hit like 180.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to bring it back down, I would do like an easy half, hard half, easy half, hard half. And then it would be like really hard for me to break. It would take the entire half a mile for me to get my heart rate back down to like 155. And then it's shooting right back up. And then I don't know. I like my run tomorrow. I'm gonna do the entire thing and not let my heart rate go above 155 ish or 153.
Yeah.
Um, see what my pace is, but it mentally messes with me because I'm like, I don't want to run 9 minute miles.
Yeah. I know. It's weird, dude. It's a weird
I'm like,
feeling.
it's too slow. I feel slow.
And you're down in Florida too, and this was something that I didn't. I mean, yeah, not to super derail, but like this is something I didn't realize. I trained for the majority of my marathon training for my full marathon was in the western part of North Carolina in the mountains, where you're at a little bit of a higher elevation. Nothing crazy, but it's cooler. It's not humid there. And I was training in the winter because I ran a December marathon literally about a year ago. But then I ended up running the actual race in south of Charleston in South Carolina, and it was humid. It's a different climate, and those things really do impact your heart rate and how you're able to, your body feels and stuff. And so, yeah, you train down in Florida, I'm sure your paces might even be a little bit slower just based on the climate. If you took that same fitness to somewhere with no humidity, you probably would be cruising way faster and not working as hard.
Yeah, that's probably what happened with the New York half.
Yeah.
Like, I was training a lot. I don't know if it was like a summer or winter thing, but I was training a lot in Florida and just, man, I remember like the last I did prior to the race was like 10, it was like a 10-mile run and I barely sub 9, or maybe I was in the nines for my pace. And then I went and ran that. I was like I think I ran like 7:25 pace or something. Like, this is crazy. I felt like
Yeah.
a different human being. I mean, obviously it's the energy. Like I learned that, like
Yep.
having people there the entire time, you're like, I don't want anyone to see me going slow, you know? And then
Right.
also just like the energy, you just feel good, but also the climate, like the cooler air, it's more dense. Your lungs will be able to use the oxygen more efficiently.
Yeah. 100%, dude. Super interesting, man. No, but I love the fitness side of everything you're doing. I do want to talk about the pilot stuff because I think that is super interesting. Obviously, you're the first guest that we've ever had on that's done anything like what you're doing. So it's cool to see kind of how, like, I don't want to say half and half, but like a big portion of life is still fitness. And then obviously this is super important. You work so hard. So how did you even get into wanting to become a pilot? What was the draw there that kind of got you into that? And what did that even look like?
Yeah, so my best friend's dad was an American airline captain. And early on, I was always super into surfing. My buddy Carrie, we would always go on surf trips, and we went to Costa Rica a few times together. And his dad was always able to get time off. They live in a nice house on the beach, makes good money, seemed like he had a good quality of life. And I always thought about doing it. I always said like, oh man, it'd be cool to be a pilot, but I was never very good in school. I was never like the smart kid, and everyone always tells you like, oh man, you gotta be really smart to be a pilot. Like you gotta do all this math. We don't do a lot of math. We don't do a lot of math at all. But I went to college. I got a business degree, and then after that, I was just thinking about it. So I eventually went to the flight school in my local area and did this thing called a discovery flight. It's like a 45-minute flight. You go fly around with a flight instructor. They basically give you controls so you can fly around, see if you like it. You can ask questions about, the schooling, the tests you have to take, and how long it takes, the money, and all that. And I just decided to do it. I was like, screw it, I'm going to do it. And then, a few years later, now I'm here. Long story short, but pretty much the lifestyle and the amount of time off you get, you can have a side hustle like I do now.
Yeah.
You get to fly big planes. You get to go fast. It's a cool job. I love the mix of doing that and doing this.
Dude, that's so cool. Now, what in terms of the actual process of becoming a pilot, like I'm sure there's different depending on what kind of pilot you want to be, but like what is kind of the standard procedure and like how long does that typically take?
So I'd say I probably went through the standard procedure unless you go the military route. But so you start off as a student pilot, and then you work towards your private pilot license. So you could do this. You could be a student pilot at 16, and you get your private pilot license at 17. So I
Wow.
was a little bit while longer. I didn't even start flying until I was 23. But I got my private pilot license, which means you can go fly around by yourself or bring passengers. Like I could bring you or my parents or my friends. Then you can get your instrument rating, which means you can fly into the clouds and just fly based on the instruments. Then you get your commercial license, which means you can get paid to fly. This is at 250 hours. So basically like kind of halfway through your training.
Hmm.
So you can't like go fly for an airline yet, just commercial, which means you can get compensated for flying. And then usually people will get their commercial multi-engine, which means you could, get paid to fly multi-engine airplanes. And then most people will become flight instructors and then teach all those previous ratings. So I became a flight instructor. Then I taught people for their private instrument, commercial multi. And in this time, now you're getting paid. So it's your first job. You don't make much money, but it's a great way to build your time. And then I didn't have an aviation degree, so I needed 1,500 hours.
Gotcha.
You have an aviation degree, you just need 1,000 hours. So I just built my time up till 15. And once you hit 1,500, then you can get your airline transport pilot certificate, which usually the airlines will pay for. So the first airline I worked for, Delta's Regional, Endeavor Air, they paid for, my ATP, and I got certified in a specific jet. And then I jumped ship over to Frontier now. But yeah, that's I'd say that that's like the standard. It took me about like 2 years to get all my ratings. I just worked at my own pace. Some programs are way, way faster, and I've seen people take way, way longer. And then I instructed for like a year and a couple months. So 3 years in total building time, you could be at the airlines, or less.
That's super interesting. So you've had a flight. Have you done any solo flying yet?
Yeah, I mean, like in small prop planes, but yeah, you
Like,
like there's no solo flying in like commercial jets. It's all
like,
two pilot operations. But yeah, like I used to fly all the time by myself. Like go grab a Cessna and just go rip around, or me and like it was a great date, dude. Like the best
no
dates.
way.
Like back when I was with my ex, so like I would we would go and just go hit like a private airport and go grab dinner or go grab breakfast. You know, it's sick. It's like it feels like I don't know. Girls don't get that. It's like how you kind of separate yourself. You're like, yeah, we'll go fly to this airport like an hour and a half away, go grab some food and rip back.
Dude,
It's a pretty cool way to go.
if there are any guys, single guys listening to this that are having trouble getting the girls' attention, I think Joey just gave you some good advice. Become a pilot and fly on your next date.
Exactly. Yeah, they will melt for sure.
That's legendary, dude. That's so cool. So what was that first solo flight like? Was it pretty scary to be up there by yourself? Like, dude, I'm in this thing. I am flying an airplane. Like, what was that like?
Oh yeah, freaking out, absolutely freaking out, super nervous. Actually, funny story. So my first flight instructor who got me my private license and soloed me for the first time is this kid named Steven Halfinger. And now he's in my class. He was in my class at Frontier and we were classmates. Like,
That's
now
crazy.
now we're working together at the same company. So it's pretty cool how that all worked out. But yeah, absolutely freaking out. Obviously you do a lot of touch and goes, which like just land and take back off with the instructor, and he knows that you're ready, you
Yeah.
know. But mentally, as a student, you've always had this safety right to your left,
Yeah.
to
He's
where if
there.
you're doing anything stupid, he can just grab controls and fix the landing or whatever. And it's a pretty small plane, so it flies a little bit different when there's one less person in there,
Mm.
a little bit more like reactive. Uh,
Yeah.
so, dude, yeah, I was freaking out, but all went well. Didn't crash or anything, and then yeah, it was all good.
That's so cool, man. Have you had any crazy stories like since then, just like experiences in the air that you were like, dude, this is nuts. This is like just such a crazy experience as a pilot.
I'd say it. I mean, it's just cool in general. Like so every once in a while, I'll just look around. Like we're up at 37,000 feet, and it's just beautiful. The sun setting. I'll just look out and be like, "This is nuts! Like
Yeah.
this is crazy. How did I get here? Like this is freaking crazy." But as a flight instructor too, I mean, you're flying really old planes.
Mhm.
You're teaching people how to fly, and you're teaching people how to land.
Mhm.
So you definitely have some moments where you're like you get a little scared or like things don't go your way or like maintenance, like one time they put my tire on wrong. My tire basically came off like on landing, which was really sketchy. Like
Sketchy.
students having really bad landings and you having to fix them, or like some crazy moments for sure, but it was all a part of like the learning process.
Yeah, no doubt. So what is your end goal with being a pilot? Like, is there a certain airline you want to work for, or is there certain things you want to accomplish in that profession, or what are you kind of thinking there?
Probably just become a captain and just have a good quality of life. Like I always thought, especially the first region I went to was for Delta, and I thought I wanted to be like Delta's like everyone talks about Delta like it's where you want to be. It's
Yeah.
the highest paid airline. It's all this, it's all that. But for me, I quickly learned it's all about quality of life. Like I don't care about the name. I just care about quality of life. So for being a pilot or a flight attendant, that's all about bases. So Frontier has the best bases for where I want to live, which is Florida and then possibly Colorado. I've been thinking about maybe doing a year out there eventually.
Nice.
But Delta, they have, Atlanta, New York, all these places that I don't really ever want to live and I don't want to commute. Commuting is the worst part of the job. Like when I was working for Endeavor, I was commuting up to New York. I was living in Florida. I would have to drive to Orlando, fly to New York, and then start flying. When now, if I'm based in Orlando or Tampa and I live in Tampa, I just drive to the airport 30 minutes and then boom, you're at work and you're starting to make money. And when you get home, boom, you just drive home
Oh,
rather than, if I got home or if my trip ended late in New York, I would get back to the airport. I probably wouldn't even be able to find a flight home, so I'd have to spend the night in New York. Then I would have to fly home the next day, which is my off day. So now I'm traveling on my day off. It just eats into your home
yeah.
time. Where I
No,
want to be home. I want to be home lifting, running, doing my own thing. Um, so I think that's my goal. I do think I want to stay at Frontier, but you never know what happens with the industry. This is a pretty crazy industry. Airlines go under. COVID happens, 9/11 happens. It seems like every 10 years something absolutely nuts happens in this industry. So you kind of have to roll with the punches. But yeah, become a captain, get the sickest schedule with the most amount of time off, and just get jacked and get fast.
I love it, dude. Let's go. Do you think you'll ever be like Top Gun, like in a fighter jet?
Nah, nah, nah. That would have to be like now. Like I would have to really want that right now and go the military route. But yeah, I just don't really have that urge. Like you have to really, really like flying because it's tough. Like it is
Dude, I
some
believe that.
tough stuff, and you just don't. It's not as lucrative. Like you're not making as much money. I mean, obviously, like you're a government employee. They're not paying you like the airlines are going to pay you.
Yeah.
I kind of got into this more so. Like I like it, but it's definitely more so like a job. It's a stable income. Um, Rather than like a passion of flying. But I mean, it would be sick. Like I can't like going, getting in like an F-35 or something,
Oh my gosh.
ripping around at whatever speed those things are ripping.
That movie is really good.
That is a good movie. That is a good movie. I saw.
You got the stats, dude. I saw. Yeah, you're not fooling anyone, bro. I see this. I see the stash.
Now I'm all scruffy, but yeah, I watched Top Gun and I was like, I'm shaved. I'm rocking the mustache.
I love it.
Miles Teller's looking too damn good with that mustache. I'm joining the book.
You have the vibe. You can pull it off.
Thanks, bro.
Dude, that's super interesting to hear about that. And yeah, kind of the last thing I want to touch on in this episode and just kind of hear your take on it is we've kind of surfaced it a little bit, but just you've been able to work super hard, build your brand, your personal brand, especially in that fitness and health space. And then obviously as a pilot, you're crushing that. But like you've been able to work with some really awesome brand partners. Cuts being one of them. We'll actually make Cuts the sponsor of this episode, which would be sweet.
Let's go. I like the hat. Yeah, I was gonna
Cuts
say. I'm
10,000.
on cuts right now.
Let's go, baby. Cuts team. Let's go.
Go.
Yeah, Cuts 10,000. I know you do stuff with Ice Barrel. You have a lot of really cool partners. How did you even get into being able to work with them and bringing them value through your social media?
So I really do think I give a lot of credit to 10,000. because that was the first long-term deal that I've had. And then I don't know if these brands talk to each other or if they just see the certain things that you're posting and they can see that you're consistent and creating good quality content. But it started with 10,000 and then it kind of grew from there. I don't know if Cuts was the next one. I had some one-offs in between, but
Yeah.
I've also just like the stuff that I've really liked, I've kind of asked for longer term deals.
Mhm.
And then now people like on the 10,000 team or on the Cuts team work with other brands. Then they'll, if you're boys with them, then they'll recommend you be like, hey, check out try to work with Koros. Like I love their watches. Like
Yeah.
I'll put you in contact. So just building that network and becoming friends with the people on certain teams will then introduce you to other teams. And then you just kind of fit in what works best for you and easiest, for you to naturally and organically post.
Mhm.
And dude, I'm stoked. I mean, I absolutely love Cuts. I love 10,000. I love Ice Barrel. Like I can't believe sometimes I'm like, how am I on these teams? Sometimes I'm in like the meeting. I'm in the meeting like with the 10,000 guys, and I'm looking around and I'm like, this guy's a record holder for the marathon. This guy just like won this race. This guy's done like 3 Ironmans. I'm just sitting here like, how did I get here?
You're a beast, bro. Don't say all that. You're a beast. You provide value, dude. You make incredible content. You work hard. You treat people the right way. I think those are all the things that I think people behind the scenes you don't really realize. And for anyone listening, want to get into like having brand partnerships, I think I'd love to hear your take on that. Just like providing value beyond just the post, because I think a lot of people are like, look at if they're not an influencer, they're like, man, it would be so cool to be one. You just post for brands. But I think there's a lot more to that, and I'd love to hear kind of your position on the value of the relationship side of it.
Yeah. No, I think that's huge. Like you have to provide value. You have to be helping people. And I do try to do that with my posts, like just stuff that I learn, I'll try to share
Yeah.
immediately. Even if I'm saying something that might not even be right at the time, I think it's right. So I'm going to share it and then I'll learn from that and then adapt and correct it down the line. And then also now I get a lot of people reaching out to me, on DMs, whether it's, what's your workout plan? How many calories you taking? How much protein? How did you become a pilot? Which flight school did you go to? How much money did it cost? How long did it take you? And I really try to respond to like everybody if I
Mhm.
can, So I think that helps a lot too, because then people are like, oh, okay, this guy is real. Like, I don't know, he wants to help. It creates a good aura around you, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, dude, like you said, just providing value is the best thing I think you could do.
That's so cool, bro. That's
Yeah.
amazing, dude. And even beyond your brand partnerships, you have a couple cool projects I think you're working on. I'd love to hear about one being a retreat, a wellness retreat you're going to be doing next year. Tell me a little bit about that and kind of what that's going to look like.
Yeah. So I'm doing it with Nick Walker up in Canggu in Indonesia. It's going to be sick. Like the Oasis looks awesome. This is my first retreat I'm ever going on, or I'm ever putting on. I just did the HPLT retreat, so that was really cool to see and get ideas from. But it's about a week. It's May 8th to the 14th, and every day we're going to do some sort of a workout, some sort of a recovery, whether that's a stretch session, ice, sauna, and then some sort of like a Bali adventure. So like ATVs, uh, diving, for free diving or snorkeling, just hitting the beach, partying,
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be it's gonna be epic, dude. I'm pumped.
I love it, dude. Yeah, the Nick's great. Nick's actually been on the show before, so we've had him as a guest, and you guys together, I think that combination is going to be really special. I think you guys are going to do a lot of cool things with that.
Yeah, dude. I'll have to watch that episode because yeah, I haven't seen that.
He's
But yeah,
great.
he's blown up like the last I don't know with like 2 years. Like he hit me up. He's one of the people that actually DM me like early on, and he was like, "Hey, bro, how did you get your partnerships? How did you grow on social media?" And then I just watched him just absolutely take off, and like he makes good high quality content. He's
Yeah.
funny. He's obviously an absolute beast. Like he's like freaking 6 foot whatever and absolutely. But
He's got
yeah,
his little He's got his little dances as well. I think that's what sets him over the edge.
They're hilarious. People love it.
He's
People,
awesome. I love Nick. But dude, I love it, man. I think wrapping this thing up, my last question for you is just if you could kind of summarize like one thing that you've truly learned from where you are now. Maybe there's someone listening to this and like, I really want to get into posting on social. I want to get into creating a brand. I want to maybe even pursue being a pilot or just like having a really full balanced life of chasing something professionally, but also helping people, which I think you do a really great job of doing both. What is that piece of advice for them? And what would you tell someone that's looking to learn that?
man, yeah, I mean, it's cliche, but consistency is key, right? Like I think with everything, just live a healthy lifestyle and just try to get that 1% better every day, or just try to work towards your goal every single day. And then eventually you'll get there. It could be very daunting, looking ahead. Like I still talk to people, especially with the whole pilot thing. They're like, oh, how do I get started? And then they're like, oh, but then by the time I'm at the airline now, I'm 35. Then you start at not making so much money. It's like you do have to think about the future. Same thing with like running. Like you can kind of like have this mindset for anything. If you start a marathon, you think about, oh my God, I got to do 26 miles. Like that's so long. Like you just kind of have to put one foot in front of the other every single day, and then eventually you'll get to the destination. And then just enjoy the process, because I've had a hard time with that sometimes. Just like grind, 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 grind. You want to get to this destination, but it really is another cliche thing. It is about the journey. It is about enjoying the process and just, you know, enjoying the grind. So I don't know. That was a bit of a ramble, but
I love
yeah,
that. No, I think it's so true, man. I think that's really, really good, man. I appreciate you taking the time to come on. This has been a super fun episode, dude. I'm so pumped to get a chance to work out with you and run and when we're in Vegas. And dude, anything you ever need, we got your back. We want to support your journey and everything you're doing. So I really appreciate you coming on.
hey, thanks, bro. Yeah, stoked to see you in Vegas. Good luck at Hyrox. If I don't see you before that, and yeah, dude, thanks again for having me on.
Let's go.